The detection. The quantum tunneling array at CERN wasn't supposed to detect anything unusual that day. Dr. Elena Rossi had designed the experiment to study dark matter interactions, not to shatter humanity's understanding of their place in the universe. But as she stared at the holographic display showing impossible readings, she knew nothing would ever be the same. "Marcus, are you seeing this?" Elena called to her research partner, Dr. Marcus Chen, who was already rushing over to her workstation. The quantum field measurements showed clear patterns of artificial manipulation, structured distortions in space-time that couldn't possibly be natural phenomena. "This can't be right," Marcus muttered, his fingers flying across the haptic interface. "The quantum coherence patterns are too ordered, too precise." He pulled up comparison data from their previous dark matter detection runs. "Look at this. Where natural quantum fluctuations show chaos, these show clear engineering principles." Elena nodded, her mind racing ahead to the implications. Someone's manipulating quantum fields at a level we thought impossible, and they're doing it right here, in our solar system. She paused, choosing her next words carefully. "Marcus, I don't think we're alone." High above Earth's atmosphere, Overseer X-427 of the Concordat surveillance network experienced what their species would consider panic. Their quantum stealth systems were supposed to be undetectable to primitive human technology. Yet somehow, these humans had not only detected their presence, but were already beginning to analyze the underlying principles of their technology. The Concordat had watched humanity for centuries, carefully hiding any trace of their existence. Their mandate was clear: observe but never interfere, allowing young species to develop naturally until they achieved quantum awareness on their own. That process should have taken humanity at least another century. But as X-427 monitored the rapidly expanding discussion between the human scientists, they realized their carefully maintained isolation was about to crumble. These humans weren't just detecting anomalies. They were already theorizing the fundamental principles behind quantum stealth technology. Back in the CERN laboratory, Elena and Marcus had been joined by Dr. Sarah Wong, their quantum computing specialist. "The pattern suggests some kind of quantum field manipulation that creates a localized space-time distortion," Sarah explained, building a simulation based on their readings. "In theory, you could use this to bend light and other electromagnetic radiation around an object." "Active camouflage," Marcus suggested, but Elena shook her head. "Not just camouflage. This is far more sophisticated. They're not just bending light, they're manipulating the fundamental structure of space-time itself." She highlighted a particular set of readings. "Look at these phase transitions. Whatever this is, it's also affecting gravitational fields. This isn't just stealth technology. It's the key to faster-than-light travel." Sarah's fingers danced across her quantum interface, building increasingly complex models. "The math works. If you could maintain quantum coherence at this scale, you could create a bubble of distorted space-time around a ship. The ship itself would never move faster than light within its local space, but the bubble could theoretically traverse any distance almost instantly. But maintaining quantum coherence at that scale should be impossible," Marcus objected. "The energy requirements alone should be impossible with our current understanding of physics," Elena finished. "But clearly, someone has figured it out, and if they can do it," she let the implication hang in the air. "We can reverse engineer it," Sarah said, already diving into calculations. "We don't need to copy their exact method. Now that we know it's possible, we can find our own way to achieve the same result." Above them, X-427 observed with increasing alarm as the humans began to unravel centuries of carefully hidden technology in a matter of hours. But what truly disturbed them was that the humans weren't simply copying Concordat methods. They were developing entirely new approaches to quantum manipulation. Where the Concordat used crystalline matrices to maintain quantum coherence, the humans were already theorizing about artificial quantum cascade systems, where Concordat ships created stable quantum bubbles through careful field harmonics. The humans were discussing controlled quantum turbulence that could actually enhance field strength. It was elegant in its audacity, and completely unlike anything the Concordat had developed in their millennia of technological advancement. These humans weren't just clever. They were thinking in ways that had never occurred to the Concordat's finest minds. As Elena and her team worked through the night, their findings were already spreading through the global scientific community. Other research facilities began detecting similar quantum anomalies, confirming their discoveries. Within days, theoretical frameworks were being developed, and experimental prototypes were being designed. The humans had taken their first steps into a larger universe, and they were running rather than walking. The age of isolation was ending, and neither humanity nor the Concordat were ready for what would come next. High in orbit, X-427 prepared to send an emergency message to the Concordat High Council. The situation had evolved far beyond their protocols for handling emerging civilizations. These humans weren't just detecting their presence. They were about to revolutionize quantum physics itself. The message would take days to reach the Council, transmitted through carefully hidden quantum relays. X-427 knew that by the time they received a response, everything might have changed. The humans were advancing at a pace that defied all prediction models. As the first part of their message streamed out into the quantum network, X-427 continued to monitor the humans below. In the CERN laboratory, Elena Rossi was leading a discussion about practical applications of their discoveries, surrounded by a growing team of excited scientists and engineers. If we can understand how they're maintaining quantum coherence at these scales, she was saying, we won't just have faster-than-light travel. We'll have clean, unlimited energy, perfect quantum computing, technology that would transform every aspect of human civilization. In that moment, X-427 realized that the Concordat's greatest fear had come true. Not that humanity would discover them, but that humanity would surpass them. The age of quiet observation was over. The age of innovation was about to begin. The breakthrough. The quantum fabrication lab at MIT hummed with energy as Dr. Sarah Wong adjusted the experimental quantum field generator. 3 months had passed since the initial discovery at CERN, and humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics had advanced decades in mere weeks. But this test would be different. They weren't just detecting quantum fields anymore. They were creating them. Power levels stable, reported Dr. James Martinez, monitoring the array of holographic displays surrounding their prototype. Quantum cascade is holding at 97% efficiency. He shook his head in amazement. Still can't believe this actually works. The device on the testing platform bore little resemblance to conventional human technology. Where traditional machines relied on precise, rigid engineering, this quantum field generator embraced controlled chaos. Quantum turbulence patterns that should have torn the fields apart instead strengthened them, creating self-reinforcing cascades that maintained coherence through constant change. It works because we stopped fighting entropy, Sarah explained, making final adjustments. Everyone assumed you needed perfect stability to maintain quantum coherence. But we proved you can use instability itself as a stabilizing force. Elena Rossi, who had flown in from CERN to witness the test, watched from behind the safety barriers. Any sign that our friends up there have noticed what we're doing? She asked, glancing skyward. James checked a separate set of monitors. Oh, they've noticed. We've detected increased quantum activity in orbit ever since we started testing. They're definitely paying attention. The prototype began to hum at a frequency that made their bones vibrate. Around it, reality itself seemed to blur as space-time responded to the quantum manipulations. Sarah's fingers danced across the control interface, guiding the quantum cascades with practiced precision. Beginning Phase 2, she announced, initiating localized space-time distortion. The air around the device shimmered like heat waves on hot asphalt, but with geometric patterns that defied natural physics. A small probe floated in the center of the test chamber, its sensors streaming data about the quantum fields surrounding it. Field coherence at 99%, James reported, his voice tense with excitement. Space-time distortion is stable and contained. We're ready for the first translation test. Sarah nodded, her focus absolute. Beginning quantum displacement in 3, 2, 1. The probe vanished. For a fraction of a second, everyone held their breath. Then James let out a whoop of joy. Signal acquired. The probe successfully translated to the receiving station in California. 0.3 seconds transit time for 3,000 miles. Elena rushed to examine the incoming data. The probe's perfectly intact. No spatial distortion, no temporal shifting. It's as if it simply stepped from one point in space to another. High above Earth, Overseer X-427 observed the test with what their species would consider profound shock. The humans hadn't just replicated Concordat technology. They'd fundamentally reimagined it. Where Concordat ships used massive crystalline arrays to brute force their way through space-time, this human device danced with quantum chaos itself, using principles that the Concordat's best scientists had never considered. The implications were staggering. This human approach to quantum field manipulation wasn't just different, it was potentially superior. Their willingness to embrace and control chaos, rather than impose rigid order, had opened doors that the Concordat had never even seen. Back in the lab, Sarah was already discussing improvements to the system. If we scale up the quantum cascade effect, we could create much larger displacement fields. The energy requirements increase logarithmically rather than linearly. It's actually more efficient at larger scales. How large are we talking? Elena asked, already seeing where this was going. Large enough for a ship, Sarah replied, bringing up preliminary designs on her holographic display. We've already got aerospace contractors interested in working with us. They think we could have a prototype vessel ready within 6 months. James whistled blow. 6 months from theoretical physics to practical FTL travel. That has to be some kind of record. The real question, Elena said thoughtfully, is how our hidden observers will react when we start testing actual FTL ships. They can't ignore us forever. As if in response to her words, their quantum detection arrays lit up with new signatures. The orbital monitoring platforms were activating previously dormant systems, their quantum fields shifting in patterns that suggested communication. Look at these readings, Sarah said, studying the data. They're using quantum entanglement for instantaneous communication across vast distances. But again, their approach is so rigid, so inefficient. She was already sketching new equations on a spare display. If we apply our cascade principles to quantum entanglement, one revolution at a time, Elena laughed, but her eyes sparkled with the same enthusiasm. Let's perfect FTL travel before we reinvent quantum communication. The next few months were a blur of activity as research teams around the world built on their breakthroughs. The first human quantum drive took shape in a specially constructed facility in the Nevada desert, incorporating refinements and improvements from dozens of countries and hundreds of scientists. Where the Concordat had taken millennia to develop their technology through careful, methodical advancement, humanity was compressing that evolution into months through sheer creative audacity. They weren't bound by traditional assumptions about quantum mechanics because they were writing their own rules as they went along. X-427, watching it all unfold, came to a profound realization. The Concordat's mistake hadn't been in failing to hide their technology. It had been in assuming that there was only one path to technological advancement. These humans, with their chaotic creativity and willingness to challenge fundamental assumptions, were blazing an entirely new trail. As the first human FTL ship took shape, its quantum drive incorporating principles that would have shocked Concordat engineers, X-427 prepared a final report to the High Council. The age of observation was over. The time had come to face these humans as equals, or perhaps, though the thought was almost heretical, as teachers. The humans weren't just joining the galactic community. They were about to revolutionize it. The revelation. The High Council chamber of the Concordat thrummed with agitated quantum frequencies as the assembled representatives reviewed Overseer X 427's latest report. The vast crystalline architecture, normally pulsing with calm, ordered patterns, now flickered with chaotic energy that reflected the Council's collective disturbance. First Speaker Ven 12, their form, a complex matrix of crystalline structures and quantum fields, addressed the assembly. The humans have achieved what we thought impossible. Not only have they detected our presence, but they have developed their own method of quantum field manipulation, one that defies our understanding of physical laws. The chamber's holographic displays showed detailed analyses of human quantum drive technology, where Concordat designs were precise, symmetrical, and relied on crystalline matrices to maintain quantum coherence. The human technology embraced controlled chaos, using quantum turbulence to achieve even greater efficiency. How? Demanded third speaker Rax 89, their crystalline form vibrating with agitation. Our models predicted at least another century before they would achieve quantum awareness. Their technological progression has violated every principle of developmental theory we've established over millennia. Perhaps, suggested second speaker Liar 56, that is precisely why they have advanced so quickly. They are not bound by our principles or assumptions. On the central display, footage showed the first human FTL ship, the Quantum Horizon, preparing for its maiden voyage. Its design was unlike anything the Concordat had ever seen, a blend of angular efficiency and controlled quantum chaos that their sensors could barely comprehend. They are not merely replicating our technology, X 427 explained, their report continuing. They have fundamentally reimagined it. Their quantum cascade system achieves field coherence through controlled instability, a concept that our scientists had dismissed as impossible. The Council watched as the Quantum Horizon activated its drive. The ship didn't simply bend space like Concordat vessels. It created a quantum storm around itself, a maelstrom of carefully orchestrated chaos that somehow achieved perfect stability through perpetual change. Most concerning, X 427 continued, is that they have already begun to improve upon these initial designs. Their rate of innovation exceeds our predictive models by several orders of magnitude. They are not merely advancing, they are accelerating. First speaker Ven 12's crystalline structure pulsed with what their species would consider deep contemplation. Show us their quantum communication experiments. New data filled the displays, showing human scientists applying their cascade principles to quantum entanglement, where Concordat technology used precisely aligned crystalline arrays to maintain entangled states. The humans were developing systems that actually used quantum uncertainty to strengthen the connections. They have already achieved stable multi-particle entanglement without crystalline matrices, X 427 reported. Their communication efficiency exceeds our current technology by approximately 40%. The Council chamber erupted in quantum frequencies that would have been inaudible to human ears, the equivalent of shocked murmurs and concerned discussions. Thousands of years of Concordat technological development had just been surpassed by humans in a matter of months. We must contact them, declared second speaker Liar 56. If we delay further, they may develop technologies we cannot predict or understand. Already, their approach to quantum mechanics challenges our most fundamental theories. Contact is inevitable. X 427 agreed. They have begun scanning neighboring star systems with quantum detection arrays. Within weeks, they will discover our observation posts throughout their sector. The only question is whether we initiate contact on our terms or wait for them to find us. First speaker Ven 12's form shifted through complex patterns as they processed the implications. Perhaps this is why we were meant to find them. Not to guide them, but to learn from them. Their chaos brings insights our order could never achieve. The displays showed more human innovations, quantum computing systems that used controlled uncertainty as a feature rather than a bug, energy generation systems that harvested power from quantum turbulence, and theories about space and time that made even the Concordat's most advanced scientists pause in consideration. Prepare a contact fleet, first speaker Ven 12 decided. But not our standard diplomatic vessels. Send our newest ships, the ones with our most advanced technology. We must show them respect as equals, or they may soon surpass us entirely. As the council chamber hummed with preparation frequencies, ANX 427 added one final observation. There is something else you should know. The humans, they're excited about meeting us. Where other species have reacted with fear or aggression upon discovering they're not alone, the humans are eager to share knowledge, to learn, to teach. They see this not as a challenge to their place in the universe, but as an opportunity to grow. The Council's quantum frequencies shifted to patterns indicating deep appreciation. Perhaps they realized this was the greatest revelation of all. Not just humanity's technological innovations, but their fundamental approach to the unknown. Where the Concordat sought to impose order on chaos, humans had learned to dance with it, to find new patterns in the randomness, to see possibilities where others saw only disorder. The age of observation was ending. The age of collaboration was about to begin. And none in the council chamber could predict what wonders might emerge when human chaos and Concordat order learned to work together. The exchange. The United Nations Quantum Research Center buzzed with barely contained excitement as the Concordat delegation materialized in the specially prepared reception chamber. Dr. Elena Rossi stood alongside Dr. Sarah Wong and Dr. James Martinez, representing Earth's quantum physics community, at humanity's first official contact with an alien civilization. The Concordat representatives were unlike anything they had imagined. Their bodies were complex matrices of crystalline structures, suffused with shifting quantum fields, more like abstract art pieces than biological entities. They seemed to exist partially in quantum superposition, their forms simultaneously solid and fluid. First speaker Ven 12's translator converted their quantum frequency communications into human comprehensible speech. We come seeking exchange of knowledge, they announced, their crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns. Your achievements have challenged our understanding of what is possible. Elena stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overshadowing any nervousness. We've been looking forward to meeting you. Your quantum field technology gave us the push we needed to revolutionize our understanding of physics, though I suspect we've taken it in directions you didn't expect. Indeed, the Concordat representative's form shifted in what might have been amusement. We have spent millennia perfecting the art of quantum manipulation through ordered crystalline matrices. In months, you developed an entirely new approach based on controlled chaos. It is most irregular. Sarah couldn't help grinning. Irregular is kind of our specialty. Would you like to see our latest quantum cascade prototype? We've made some improvements since your last observations. The Concordat delegation followed them to the research lab, where the newest version of the quantum field generator hummed with barely contained energy. Where their first prototype had been experimental and rough, this version was elegant in its controlled chaos, quantum fields swirling in complex patterns that somehow maintained perfect stability through constant change. Impossible, one of the Concordat scientists declared, their crystalline form vibrating with what seemed to be excitement. The field coherence should collapse under such turbulence, yet it grows stronger. How? We call it dynamic stability, James explained, bringing up the technical specifications on a holographic display. Instead of fighting against quantum uncertainty, we use it. Each fluctuation in the field creates ripples that reinforce the overall structure. The more chaos we introduce, the more stable it becomes, up to a point, of course. The Concordat scientists huddled around the display, their forms flickering with rapid quantum communications as they analyzed the human technology. Elena watched them with fascination, noting how their very bodies seemed to embody their philosophical approach to science, crystalline, ordered, precise. We have brought examples of our own technology, first speaker Ven 12 announced. A shimmer in the air revealed devices of incredible complexity, their crystalline structures catching and refracting light in ways that seemed to bend reality itself. Perhaps together, we can find a synthesis between order and chaos. The next few hours were a blur of technological exchange and scientific discussion. The humans marveled at the elegant precision of concordat quantum crystals, while the aliens were captivated by the controlled chaos of human quantum cascade systems. Each approach had its strengths and weaknesses, but together they opened up possibilities neither species had imagined. "Look at this," Sarah exclaimed, analyzing one of the concordat devices. Their crystalline matrices achieve perfect quantum coherence, but they're incredibly rigid. If we could combine their precision with our dynamic stability principles, the applications would be revolutionary, agreed the concordat scientist, their form pulsing with excitement. Your chaos could provide adaptability our systems lack, while our order could extend the range and power of your fields. As the technical discussion continued, Alina noticed first speaker Ven 12 observing the human scientists with what seemed to be deep contemplation. "You are not what we expected," the alien leader admitted. "We thought our role would be to guide younger species, to teach them the proper path to technological advancement. Instead, you have shown us that there are paths we never imagined." "That's the beauty of scientific discovery," Alina replied. "The universe is vast and strange, and there's always more than one way to understand it. Your ordered approach gave you incredible achievements, but perhaps it also limited what you could imagine was possible." "Yes," Ven 12 agreed, their form shifting through complex patterns. "We have learned that too much order can be as limiting as too much chaos. Your species embraces uncertainty, sees possibilities where we saw only disorder. Perhaps this is why you advanced so quickly. You were not constrained by knowing what was impossible." The day continued with more exchanges, more discoveries, more moments of mutual amazement as two fundamentally different approaches to understanding the universe began to merge and evolve. Human scientists proposed wild theories that made the concordat representatives vibrate with shock, while concordat technology demonstrated levels of precision that humans had thought unattainable. But the most significant breakthrough came near the end of the day, when a young human engineer suggested combining a concordat crystalline matrix with a human quantum cascade system. The resulting hybrid device achieved levels of quantum field manipulation that neither species had thought possible, creating effects that defied both human and concordat theoretical models. "This," first speaker Ven 12 declared, observing the hybrid device with what seemed to be awe, "is only the beginning. Together, we will discover wonders that neither of us could have achieved alone." As the first day of official contact drew to a close, both species knew that the universe had fundamentally changed. The ordered precision of the concordat and the creative chaos of humanity were beginning to merge, creating something entirely new. A synthesis of approaches that promised to revolutionize their understanding of reality itself. The synthesis. 1 year after first contact, the Joint Species Research Center on Mars hummed with activity. The massive facility, built through a combination of human and concordat technology, represented something unprecedented in the galaxy, a true fusion of order and chaos, crystalline precision, and quantum turbulence. Dr. Sarah Wong stood before a holographic display that filled an entire wall of the main research chamber, her expression one of wonder as she observed the latest test results. Beside her, the concordat scientist, Lix 89's crystalline form, pulsed with similar excitement. "The hybrid drive exceeded all our projections," Sarah announced to the assembled team of human and concordat researchers. "By combining your crystalline matrices with our quantum cascade principles, we've achieved field coherence levels that neither of our species thought possible." The display showed the test flight of the Harmony, the first ship built using fully integrated human concordat technology. Its quantum drive core used crystalline structures to channel and focus the controlled chaos of human quantum cascade systems, creating effects that defied conventional physics. The efficiency ratings are unprecedented. Lix89 commented, their quantum frequencies translating to excited tones. Where our traditional drives required massive energy inputs to maintain field stability, this hybrid system actually generates excess power through quantum feedback loops. And that's just the beginning. Elena Rossi added, bringing up another set of data. The principles we've developed here are already being applied to everything from energy production to computing to medical technology. We're not just revolutionizing space travel, we're transforming both our civilizations. The evidence was everywhere. In orbit around Earth, massive quantum power stations combined concordat crystalline collectors with human cascade systems to harvest energy directly from quantum fluctuations in spacetime. Hospitals were using hybrid quantum fields to perform what amounted to miracle cures, restructuring damaged tissue at the quantum level. Communication systems utilizing both ordered and chaotic quantum entanglement allowed instant transmission of information across interstellar distances. But perhaps most remarkably, the collaboration had begun to change both species on a fundamental level. Human scientists had learned to appreciate the beauty of order and precision, while concordat researchers had discovered the creative potential of controlled chaos. The synthesis went beyond technology. It was reshaping how both species thought about the universe itself. Look at this, James Martinez called out, directing attention to another display. He was working with a team on quantum computing applications, combining concordat crystalline processors with human chaos-based algorithms. By allowing controlled uncertainty in the computation process, we're achieving processing power that makes our old quantum computers look like pocket calculators. The new hybrid computers were already helping to solve problems that had stumped both species for generations. Climate models became precise enough to predict and prevent environmental disasters. Medical AIs could model the interaction of quantum fields with biological systems, leading to treatments for previously incurable conditions. Space-time itself seemed more malleable as they developed new tools to understand and manipulate it. We've received the latest report from the Galactic core expedition, Elena announced, bringing up yet another data set. The Harmony had recently completed its first long-range mission, traveling further in weeks than concordat ships had gone in years. They've discovered something interesting. Evidence of ancient quantum technology that doesn't match either of our approaches. First speaker Ven12, who had made a special journey to Mars for this presentation, shifted their crystalline form in what had become recognizable as deep interest. Perhaps we are not the first species to discover that the true path to understanding lies in combining different perspectives. The universe is vast, Elena agreed, and we're just beginning to understand how much we don't know. But together, we're learning faster than either of our species could alone. The display shifted to show a map of known space, with hundreds of points of light representing areas of joint human concordat exploration and research. Each point represented new discoveries, new possibilities, new ways of understanding the quantum dance that underpinned reality itself. We thought we were teaching them, Ven12 commented privately to Elena after the presentation. Instead, they taught us that our greatest limitation was believing we had found the only path to knowledge. Humans showed us that chaos and order are not opposites to be conquered, but partners in the dance of discovery. Elena smiled, watching human and concordat researchers working together across the facility. And you showed us that our chaos needed focus, that there was beauty and power in precision. Together, we're writing new laws of physics, discovering new dimensions of possibility. Outside the research center's quantum-strengthened windows, the Martian sunset painted the sky in shades of red and gold. In orbit above, ships of human, concordat, and hybrid design moved in careful patterns, their quantum drives bending space and time in ways that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Within the facility, order and chaos danced together in carefully monitored experiments, each breakthrough leading to a dozen new questions, each question opening doors to new realms of discovery. The universe, they had learned, was far stranger and more wonderful than either species had imagined. And they were just beginning to explore its mysteries, not as teachers and students, but as partners in the greatest scientific adventure in known history. As night fell on Mars, the hybrid quantum cores pulsed with combined crystalline precision and chaotic energy, lighting the research center like a beacon of hope and progress. In labs and workshops throughout the facility, humans and Concordat scientists continued their work, each bringing their unique perspective to the endless task of understanding the cosmos. They had moved beyond simple technological exchange into something far more profound, a true synthesis of different ways of thinking, of seeing, of being. And in that synthesis, both species had found something greater than either could have achieved alone, a future unlimited by preconceptions, where the only constant was the joy of discovery itself. The end.